Hey you guys, I'm Lisa from theScore eSports and I'm here with Splyce's Sencux. Unfortunately, you guys did get eliminated today. So looking back at the last few weeks, what was the experience at Worlds like for you?
The first week was kind of rough because I think the TSM loss was should have been a win for us. I was kind of disappointed about that one, but in general, we came into a hard group and didn't expect to move on. So getting at least one game here is fine, and I don't regret anything. Like we still managed to go from relegations to Worlds, so I'm happy.
Let's talk about that win you guys got. Today your first match was against, was it RNG? And you guys took them down, okay? It was a very dominating win. So what did you guys do to come from last week to this week to being so dominant against them?
I just think their macro play was really weak, and in general, they got like out-rotated after we got one tower. They pretty much fell apart, and then bot lane died as well. So the game just opened up for us, and I don't feel like they had any clue how to like get back in the game. They just kind of played a bit scared and back. They tried a few things like Rice going bottom, but it didn't really work for them. So in general, I think we had the game under control, and after that, we just managed to close it out.
Were you surprised that they kind of, after you guys got a lead, they kind of ran around and didn't know what to do? Were you surprised?
Not really. Like obviously, if you get a lead, you should always be able to close it out. But in general, some teams try a bit harder to come back, and I feel like they didn't try maybe as hard as they could have. In general, I still think they play fine. They just I have heard from others as well that how they play is like really, if they get behind, then it looks really rough for them, and they will never get back in the game. So I guess it's just how they play.
And before, when we spoke in another interview, you said that you were looking forward to playing against TSM's Bjergsen. So now you got the chance. What was it like playing against him?
The first time was a bit more fun. Actually, no, because I played actually a bad matchup there, but didn't really have the biggest skill matchups in a way, but it was. I'm still happy that I get to play against him and fellow Doan. So, in general, the first game went better for us. In general, we should have won that game. The second game, they just kind of snowball off one kill, and then they do what they're really good at. It's just rotating around the map and snowballing from laning phase, and that's what you've seen TSM do the whole split.
Is there something that he does in particular as a mid laner that you are impressed by, or maybe you can learn from?
I think in general him and Svensson works really well together, and I think they do is really strong, and I think that's why if you give them things like an early pressure and like really take over the game, that they will do it, and then they're kind of like a two-man carrier running around. So I definitely think that their synergy is the best thing.
Now, you guys got eliminated after that TSM match today, but you still had games to play. So how difficult was it to still play? Like, did you approach that last game as serious as the other ones?
The last game was a bit more just try and prove to people what we could do, but it wasn't like, obviously we tried because the game still matters for Samsung and for TSM and the rest of the group. So we're not just gonna do like we did against UL the last game we had of the regular split in ULSS, where it was a bit more chaotic. But in general, we just went into the game and they played well. There's nothing to take from them, and they just snowballed the game. So.
Now, although the result wasn't favorable, this was, your first time at Worlds. So what did it mean for you to play at this year's Worlds?
It meant a lot. It was I was really excited to get here and to play on the big stage and to get to Korea and practice against the best team. So I'm really happy with the split overall, and going from relegations to here is definitely a good thing for us.
It was a crazy journey for you guys. If there was one thing that you think is the most important lesson or like the biggest takeaway from this whole experience, what do you think it would be?
I think in general I could have worked a lot harder in between when I joined LCS and came into spring. If you take the whole year, I think that's the biggest lesson I've taken.
Now that you're done and the off season's pretty much approaching, what are your plans? What are you going to do?
I'm gonna go home to Denmark and enjoy a good Danish soda, Faxe, and then.
Wait, what's that?
Faxe is the best soda in the world. You cannot get it anywhere, so you should go to Denmark for that one. But then I'm gonna relax a bit and like obviously still play some solo queue, but probably not gonna scrim. And then we're gonna go to IEM Oakland soon. So. I think in general it's just going to be relaxing a bit. Like these last 2 months has been really rough in terms of practice in Korea, and here there's not really any breaks at all. So yeah.
Well, the only EU team to advance in Worlds, H2K. And so what do you think are their chances? And if you have any, like words of encouragement for the only EU team to make it, what would you say?
I think the chances is like pretty good if they meet the right team because they have first seed now. So I think if they meet Albus, I think I'm pretty sure they would move on. I don't think they're gonna go ahead and do like G2. I think G2 just kind of got a bad start and it's snowballed, I guess you can say, from there. So I think this all that EU has been really trash. I don't really think you can say it this way. I think our group was pretty hard, and obviously the first week wasn't the greatest for us, but everybody knew before this that it was going to be really rough for us going into Worlds, and I think H2K was H2K and G2 was the two to expect us to move on. So when G2 couldn't, then people started getting a bit disappointed about EU. But I still think H2K can have a really good showing. They have really strong names, especially Rio is looking like really really good, and I think they can move on to semis. After semis, it might be a bit hard, but still believe in the EU, believe in H2K.
Now I'm going to ask you to put your analyst hat on and see if you can get your predictions right. Who do you think will go to the finals and will take Worlds this year?
That so much depends on.
I know. This is just a prediction, so.
I really don't. It's really hard to say before SKT play tomorrow because I feel like Rox was kind of sloppy when they played. The last two games they had were really stumpy, so I'm gonna say that Rox, probably because of last year as well, the groups was a bit trolly in a way. I'm gonna say Rox is gonna be one of them, and then I actually wouldn't be surprised it would be a mirror match between Rox and SKT.
All right, you guys heard it here. That's his prediction. So if he's wrong, make sure to send complaints to him. All right, Sencux, thank you so much for this interview. Good luck with everything. And you guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to check out the rest of our stuff on our channel.